àpọ́nlé bẹ̀sẹ̀ mọ́ mi lé inú mi ló mọ́ mi. Ẹ ṣe oge ẹ̀ ń gbọ́ láti ẹ ṣe olùpẹ̀ ojú òní tí ìjẹ́lẹ̀ ẹ̀rọ ẹ̀ túbọ̀ máa ń gòkè gòkè sílé o. Kí ni mo ṣe kẹ́ irọ́ kékeré nìyẹn kékeré ni ẹ̀ ṣe tó máa tètè máa lọ ọ̀nà pọ̀ lẹ́nu ẹ̀ ṣe.
And one of Atiku's foot soldiers is already live in the studio with me this wonderful morning. Is a celebrity, of course, you know, of course, a senior colleague, claimed well established, highly successful journalist, publisher, just name it, is, as we speak, the director of Dele Momodu. We also have live in the studio with me another wonderful woman. She became so popular in 2019 when she threw her heart into the ring. She wanted to become the governor of the state. The rest is history. That didn't happen. She teamed up with Governor Yinka Ayefele eventually to work with the government. But lo and behold, she told me a few months back that she's changed her position moving forward. She wants to answer the call of our people. She's the senatorial candidate of YPP and the state. She's also the pastor. Mrs. Victor, good to have you live here as well too. Good morning, madam.
Good morning.
I'll be able to hear me. Both of them should have their earphones and their headsets so that we can have a great conversation this wonderful morning. Let me also say this, like you heard, Dele Momodu will still remain immediately after the session on 11 a.m. to have a further conversation with Balade Salami. So I'm going to, have I ever heard of your voice this morning? Because you've been busy on your phone. I want to give the people of Oyo State, sir.
Good morning, my good people of Oyo State. I feel a part of Oyo State because I've had interactions with Oyo State from about age 9 in 1969.
How?
I used to come from Ile-Ife. My brother, my half-brother, was living in Okebola. And so I would come, I would stay with him, very close to the Cocoa House. And Cocoa House to me was as tall as the Babel.
In the Bible, right?
In the Bible. And when we go there, I saw Father Christmas for the first time. So Ibadan became my London. I look forward to going to Ibadan. And that is why I started building my retirement home in Ibadan. Right now, yes, it's almost complete. I'm doing a library resort in Ibadan. That's how much I love Ibadan. I hope to settle in Ibadan in my old age. Alalubosa.
Okay. That's the home of the big boys.
Oh.
Yes, that's the home of the big boys. That's nice. Good to know that you have a massive umbilical, the part of the build up towards what we should expect on Thursday, right? When Atiku comes down.
Oh, definitely. We hope to shake down Ibadan. We have one of our great leaders, Governor Yinka Ayefele, in Ibadan. Even despite the internal disagreements, but even husband and wife can have disagreements. It doesn't mean that they are still not going to sleep on the same bed.
You are sounding so optimistic this morning.
Oh, I'm always a very optimistic man. Optimism is necessary in life. People must disagree. Sometimes you abuse, sometimes you even beat yourselves up. When we were in school, we had people that we quarreled, but today we're the best of friends. So I'm very optimistic, and I know that no man would deliberately and voluntarily break down the bridge that he climbed to success.
That's quite loaded. You want to tell us about the artillery of, we understand former Vice President, the presidential candidate of your party, the PDP, will be coming to town tomorrow. Well, you have an idea of the schedule of his itinerary ahead of the Thursday massive rally at Mapu?
Well, I have no instructions to disclose his movement. I left him in Lagos last night. I left Lagos this morning myself, and I know he's flying to Ekiti for our rally in Ekiti. We were supposed to have Oyo tomorrow, but it was moved around. So we have Oyo on Thursday, then we have Ogun before Oyo.
I think to most PDP faithfuls, they listened to you this morning. I did mention the fact that Fresh FM will be embedded with the campaign trail of Governor Seyi Makinde, and of course we have the schedule cut out. We know the PDP had a campaign trail yesterday at Akinyele. They're built to have another one tomorrow at Lagelu, and they're wrapping up this week on Friday. So Thursday, that you have chosen, to God be the glory. There ain't going to be any clash. It's a free day for your PDP. How just hope it's going to be a free day for Governor Makinde to also attend.
Oh yes, we hope that he would attend, and there will be parting of bags. You know, everybody will embrace, everybody will be joyous, and there will be jollification, if I can put it that way. We look forward. He's one of the poster boys of PDP. He's a great gentleman. He's a young man, and he has so many years ahead of him. So we can't afford to burn down the bridges, because all of us will still need that bridge one day or the other.
Well, when the report came yesterday that the national leadership of your party did eulogize Governor Seyi Makinde about his performance, despite the schism within your party, I see that the PDP rank and file seem to be excited. We all look forward towards a very successful Thursday party rally in Ibadan. And coincidentally, Fresh FM is the official broadcaster on Thursday. By 10 a.m., we'll be with you to bring the proceedings live from Mapo to the people of Oyo, and of course the global audience. Good to have you once again live here this wonderful morning.
Oh, I'm very pleased to be here, and I'm honored to have spoken to your chairman, Dr. Ayefele. We spoke last night, and we have spoken this morning. He was checking on me to be sure I'm safe and sound, and so I'm happy to be in the studio. Fresh FM is the king. It's the king of the jungle.
And that's coming from the king of our business. Wow, massive compliment. We'll have a break. Still more at the station room this wonderful morning. We'll be right back.
Waste that vote when you could cast a safe vote to recover Nigeria. A vote for PDP is a vote to recover Nigeria. PDP! Sponsored by the PDP Presidential Campaign Council.
Fresh 105.9 FM.
Professionalism nurtured by experience.
There's still Fresh Out Station Room this wonderful Tuesday morning, and of course, like I did mention earlier, we have two massive guests in our studio. Let me go straight away to Madam Victor Tadi. It's always good when people get to know the beginning to know the middle and the end. What happened? You were supposed to, after the Guba election 2019, you joined Governor Seyi Makinde's administration in court, right? In some level of capacity. And now, boom, YPP. You want to represent the people of Oyo South, the biggest and the largest central districts. What happened to the sojourn?
Thank you. I want to say good morning to my listener at home. Once again, my name is Reverend Dr. Adenike Victor Tade, aka Mama Empowerment. Yes, 2018, out of my numerous work I've been doing among the youth precisely for 26 years, I have a passion in my heart that, wow, we need to move on. We need to really, you can't just stay outside the camp and be condemning people in the camp. And if you have to condemn, that means you have something that is different from what that person is holding. Probably better than your own. Better than their own, you have it. So I've been in the youth ministry for 26 years, and I felt, oh, let me go and represent the youth. Let me be their voice, since the challenges of unemployment is a problem, and even me, on my own capacity, I'm trying to redeem it. So on that note, I joined a youth party called Advanced Ally Party as their governorship candidate, and it looked like, oh, how will I cope this giant this thing? I said, well, everybody is giant in their custody. It depends on your mentality. And I did that. Unfortunately for me in the race, I met different parties on the way, APC, PDP, ADC. Now approach that I should step down for them. And eventually, because my passion is, it's not the money. Don't give me money. The party wanted to offer me money. I said no. I needed a position where I will be able to create a job for this timid youth, because creating job has been my dream. And that was how PDP, through SLNC delegates, agreed that they will give me commissioner, they will make sure I'm position where I will be able to effect my dream. I say fine. One cover I didn't collect. And unfortunately, along the line, because at the end, SLNC claimed he was not told about my stepping down for him. And especially when Babala Doja came in to say, what is happening with this young lady? Is it because she's a woman or because she's a pastor? And eventually, after 8 months, I was given a board member, Water Corporation, trying to lay the foundation of where we are now. And 14 months, I was in water. Still panting, still unfulfilled, because like 2021 there was a budget. We thought how through Oyo State, wow, we want to get water for Oyo State, even though I've not gotten a place to create job for my youth. Okay, let me see. Water is still what we can do, provide, and let people relieve of one of their problems. We traveled all through, and we came back, we got a budget. This is the solution to what is existing now. SNC approved it, but Commissioner of Finance said there's no money. That was 2021. And as an accountant, I feel bad. I said, what is it? If the executive officer have approved this, and Commissioner is saying there's no money, okay, let's try it again. We are only able to maintain a little of what is on ground. But each time in the board meeting, I'll be saying, I'm not fulfilled. People will be saying, but you are collecting your allowance. I say, it's not about allowance. To me, life is not about money. Life is more than money. When you impart in people's life, you have a legacy that lasts. I've not witnessed a funeral service where people will say, he owns 3 houses, he owns this thing, and be listing all those perishable assets. But you will hear them saying, he touched my life, he made me whom I am. I think that one is better for me than all this. And at the end, come 2022 too, we wrote another budget, and it was approved by Excellency too, and Commissioner too for Finance said there was no money. At that junction, I felt irritated. And don't forget, I did not join PDP. It was my coalition that awarded me the post I have. Of course, 14 months will have been good for me, a romance, to really get converted. Let me use church language. But unfortunately, what I was looking for, I couldn't get what I was looking for. I was looking for I was looking for a position where I would be able to reduce unemployment. At least if I cannot finish it, let me reduce it. So I just look at it and I make up my mind. I'm going to resign, and I resign. And of course, AAP had been scrapped because they couldn't meet the standard. So I went back to Young Progressive Party, and I'm happy because it's like finding myself where I belong to. Somebody must be there to represent the youth, to carry their passion and to lead them. If you really see Averagely in Nigeria, youth are used for thuggery. That is just the truth. They are used for thuggery. And looking from home, even from home, you can see that a lot of parents at this time, they are not even taking care of it because economic factor is not there. Me, I've been doing youth work. I've been empowering youths. I've been training them. Even as an accountant, even myself, I am into skill acquisition. I know how to sew bag, and this is what I've been living on. I'm a farmer and other. I've been helping a lot.
And you think, becoming a senator, Federal Republic of Nigeria, will advance that?
Will make it better for me. Why? Because I discovered that even billionaire, the policy is the one controlling the volume of the economy. So if the policy is right, see how much notice are we giving when the naira color, I use color, was to be changed. You know, a business person is the one that will be able to sell what is as loss by that policy. So I'm trying to say that if you are not there, you won't be able to influence things. The political, like people will say, oh, as a pastor, and how do you think you can balance being a politician? They are two parallel lines. But it's still because the political realm in Nigeria that I know is not really proving that they have good intention. It's like when you say a politician, you say, oh, I've seen a liar. Oh, I've seen a manipulator. They have a lot of names.
Dele Momodu is politician.
I think I'm entitled to my opinion.
No, I'm saying he's a politician.
Oh.
I mean, in the mix, you always have the good, the bad, the ugly, right? Even in church.
Yes.
Even when we have pastors.
I said immediately somebody sees you and say it's a politician. That's the impression.
So you want to change that,
and
right?
I said, my tag for my campaign is Ayipada Rere. I want to let people know that you cannot be somewhere and be condemning others. If you really have the better thing coming,
get involved. And change the system. I just wonder, madam, in 2019 I sat down with you, and now I'm also sitting down with you.
Okay.
As a pastor, we've been told at your level, you operate at IRM, right? And oftentimes you get to hear from God.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get to hear from God too?
I hear from God.
I just wonder, right?
Yes.
In 2019, you wanted to become the governor of the state.
Mm-hmm.
We had a debate, we couldn't even invite you because we couldn't measure up the platform upon which you were contesting that time.
Okay.
Right? In terms of spread, in terms of structure, we weren't really convinced.
Okay.
When eventually you took the decision to step in, according to you, because you were persuaded by Aichi Baba Aladoja to support.
Not really Aichi. The individual party came to me.
So you chose to. I think that was smart on your own part, because if you had gone to that election, from all indices, I'm not God, right? It doesn't appear as you may do well. Fine. Whatever made you to move to that party, maybe it was the ideology, right? Fine. Now, again, you have moved into YPP, and you want to become a senator, the largest senatorial district in the state. Are you still hearing from God? Because when I look at Oyo South, as we speak today, and you look at your competitors, on the platform of the PDP, government this party, you have just said the last two committee. He's been there. He wanted to become governor like you at the point in time. If you look at the APC, you have a veteran, Sarafaddin Ali, is their candidate, right? If you look at Accord, that just came in, the guy is all over the place. KKD, Kolapo Kolada is the son of a big chief in this town. These are the folks you want to face. They look like Goliath. Has God spoken to you that we YPP?
No, don't say they look like a Goliath.
They are.
They are Goliath.
And they are real-time Goliath.
Right in my Bible, that's my faith.
You are the David.
I saw the David overcoming the Goliath. See, when God, like when I said yes, I have to move into politics. I received a revelation before I moved into politics. I even received it in Osun State. And 3 weeks after I returned to Ibadan, that was when I received the call from that party that come and be a governorship candidate. And I look at it as I've received the inspiration, I've received the revelation. Now I'm receiving the reality. And I look at it that even if I say this is not the reality, I cannot let down this youth who have confidence in me. I am a model for them. A lot of them have joined.
You are the OB in the Oyo South.
I am a model for them. And I model for a lot of Christian people too, the faith, that believe, politics is a dirty game. I have to tell them that you are dirty before you join politics. That is why politics become dirty. whom you are is the determinant of whom you will be.
How
when
would you describe the structure of IPP?
Yes, we have structure. And our structure, I think, let me...
You know the number of words in Oyo South? No, I'm asking madam.
Oyo South. We are, the word there is, okay.
Oyo South has how many local government?
Oyo South have 9 local.
9 local government. 3 in Ibadan,
and 5 here.
5 in Ibadan. Massive, madam.
No matter, I'm not threatened by how long. I'm threatened by move and go and do this. That's just the issue. I'm threatened by, I'm moving by the passion I have. We cannot just continue seeing Nigeria the way it is. Somebody must arise.
Any possibility of you entering into an alliance before February?
No.
This time around, you're going all over.
No.
That's what the God says.
This is what I'm not going to step down. Step down for who?
No, I'm just asking.
I'm just replying too. I'm not going to step down for any senatorial candidates. I'm not going to do that. We are going there. If I score 0, I will say yes, I score 0. That's great. It's in multitude of, in failure there is success there. If you have not failed once, you can't be successful.
I'm happy you are meeting Dele Momodu. You guys are going to have conversation at the end of this program. We'll have a break. We'll be more back after this. Stick around, don't go anywhere.
5.9 FM.
Professionalism nurtured by experience.
Bàbá fẹ́ lọ síwájú láwùjọ ilẹ̀ yìí. Ọwọ́ wa ló wà. Bàbá fáyé ìgbáyé gbádùn. Ọwọ́ wa ló wà. Bàbá la fẹ́ bọ́ lọ́wọ́ oko ìsìnkú. Ọwọ́ wa ló wà. Ẹ má jẹ̀lẹ́nu mọ́. Àti máa ṣe bọ̀ ní ẹ wò. Ká sọ̀rọ̀ ká bà bẹ́ẹ̀. Tó ṣe ìyọmọlúwàbí ní ẹ wò. Ẹja ìjọba wípọ̀. Ká fi bò wá gbé. Reverend Dr. Adenike Victor Ade Mama Empowerment wọlé. Fún ipò aṣòfin ẹkùn gúúsù ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́. Ọ̀yọ́ South Senatorial District. Nínú ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú Young Progressive Party. Fún èrè ìjọba àwarawa. Tọ́ ìpèsè iṣẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yanturu. Ìgbáyégbádùn fún àwọn ọ̀dọ́. Líléwájú àbá tí ó gbégi dínà iṣẹ́ àwọn òṣì láwùjọ wa. Mélòó la fẹ́ kà nínú ẹ̀yìn Adébẹ̀lẹ̀? Reverend Dr. Adenike Victor Tade ní ẹjọ́ ṣe kígbà lè sùn wá bọ̀. Young Progressive Party service to the people.
BBC Motivation Ginger. Now it's time to get the ball. Let's go.
Wait a minute. I can tell you already know you do not want to go forward. Come to think of it, are you still undecided about who you really want to go for? Why waste that road when you could cast a safe vote to recover Nigeria? A vote is a vote to recover Nigeria.
PDP! Presidential Campaign Council.
Bàbá fẹ́ lọ síwájú láwùjọ ilẹ̀ yìí. Ọwọ́ wa ló wà. Bàbá fáyé ìgbáyé gbádùn. Ọwọ́ wa ló wà. Bàbá la fẹ́ bọ́ lọ́wọ́ oko ìsìnkú. Ọwọ́ wa ló wà. Ẹ má jẹ̀lẹ́nu mọ́. Àti máa ṣe bọ̀ ní ẹ wò. Ká sọ̀rọ̀ ká bà bẹ́ẹ̀. Ti ṣe ìyọmọlúwàbí ní ẹ wò. Ẹja ìjọba wípọ̀. Ká fi bò wá gbé. Reverend Dr. Adenike Victor Tade Mama Empowerment wọlé. Fún ipò aṣòfin ẹkùn gúúsù ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́. Ọ̀yọ́ South Senatorial District. Nínú ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú Young Progressive Party. Fún ìjọba àwarawa tòótọ́. Ìpèsè iṣẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yanturu. Ìgbáyégbádùn fún àwọn ọ̀dọ́. Líléwájú àbá tí ó gbégi dínà iṣẹ́ àwọn láwùjọ wa. Nínú ẹgbẹ́ ìjọba àwọn àkókò Reverend Dr. Adenike ẹjọ́ ṣe kígbà lè sùn wá bọ̀. Young Progressive Party service to the people.
Motivation Ginger. Now it's time to hit the polls. Let's go.
Wait a minute. I can tell you already know who you did not want to vote for. Come to think of it, are you still undecided about who you really want to vote for? Why waste that vote when you could cast a safe vote to recover Nigeria? A vote for PDP is a vote to recover Nigeria.
PDP! Sponsored by the PDP Presidential Campaign Council. Fresh 105.9 FM.
Professionalism nurtured by experience.
It's still Fresh from the Studio Room this wonderful Tuesday morning. Guest live in the studio, Reverend Adenike Victor Tade, the Oyo South Senatorial candidate of the YPP, and of course Dele Momodu, Director of Strategic Communication, PDP Presidential Campaign Council. And let me flip back to You made headlines. Last time you spoke extensively about the power dynamics as far as Nigeria is concerned. The owners of Nigeria, according to you, that time, of course, it made a lot of analytical session, almost Nigerian media circuit. You're on a course, and the course is, according to you, towards ensuring that we have Nigeria of our own dream. And we believe this coming election, February 25th, is going to be a watershed as far as elections in Nigeria may be concerned. And we believe strongly that the right direction at this point in our history is for former Vice President Atiku Abubakar to be elected as president. I wonder what exactly is that driving motive behind that position, and what makes you believe strongly that in the current crop of, at the field of president candidate we have in Nigeria, Atiku stands tall.
Don't forget that I tried to contest the presidential race twice. First in 2011 on the platform of the National Conscience Party, and last year on the platform of the PDP. So I have an insight, one, into what it takes to contest, to win the primary, and to win the race eventually. I started supporting presidential candidates 30 years ago when I supported Chief Moshood, Kashimawo, Olawale, Abiola. Thereafter, I supported Chief Olufalaye. I've always been in opposition, so I supported Chief Olufalaye against Chief Olusegun Obasanjo in 1999. And so I know that it is not going to be easy for a rookie to win this election. It's going to be a straight battle between my candidate, my principal, His Excellency Atiku Abubakar, and Chief Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Is going to be a straight fight. In most countries, there are usually two mainstream political parties. That is not to say you are not going to have a third force in former Governor Peter Obi, and also former Governor Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, and of course my very good friend and brother Abdulateef Kolawole Abiola. You have other players, but it's going to be a straight fight between Atiku Abubakar and Bola Tinubu. That's number one. Number two is that of all the mainstream candidates, the only man who has played at the national level is Atiku Abubakar. Bola Tinubu had always been a Lagos player. He's a big player. You know, Lagos is like the California of Nigeria. Lagos is bigger than, the economy of Lagos is bigger than most African countries and all that. But it is still localized. Atiku is the only one who has been chairman of the Economic Council. So he's done it before. It was under the Obasanjo Atiku regime that a lot of good things happened. Like writing off our debts. Now the debts have piled up. So if you bring someone on board who does not understand the economy, he will have to learn the ropes from the beginning. And that's going to be difficult. I remember going to former Governor Fashola when he was Minister of Power, Works, and I went to see him in Abuja, and I said, people are complaining. You promised that you can fix electricity. How come you can't fix it? Then he explained to me what makes it difficult, that for every minister that comes, you have to start from scratch. You have to learn about the nitty-gritty of your ministry. It's the same thing in government. So if a fresh president comes today, and with the myriad of problems that we have in Nigeria, it means that if it's a Tinubu or a Peter Obi, they've never played at the national level, they will have to start from scratch. Nigeria can't afford that right now. We have too many problems. Nigeria is history in a hurry. So we need someone who will hit the ground running from day one. I'm not saying this because I work for Atiku. I'm saying it because it is practical. Atiku is the only one who has been not just a national player, but a global player.
But if you look at the history of our country, even global community, I've seen a President Barack Obama rising from being a senator. And he's been there for 8 years. He did rule well, and that's in America. Even here, at a point in time, God bless his soul, President Yaradua, he was a former governor, and he became president. And Nigerians are still talking positively about him. The issue of what you said about somebody being there at the national level as a yardstick for hitting the ground running.
No, sir. Barack Obama is not a good example to cite.
Now,
You are talking about a system that works, not a system that has collapsed. The Nigerian system is on the brink of collapse. So if you are talking about structures, you need someone who understands where it was, what went wrong, and what we can do to fix it. That is why we're using that catchphrase to recover Nigeria. Because if you are sick, if you have cancer, you are not going to go to somebody who is just a general practitioner. You want to go to an expert. So what Nigeria needs today is urgent surgical operation. And it can only be done by the most experienced surgeon. And that is Atiku Abubakar. There is no way you bring a Tinubu. Tinubu is used to Lagos. He's used to Emilokon. He's used to a one-man system. You cannot do that at the national level, where you have a preponderance of ethnic nationalities everywhere. People are agitating. IPOB wants the Southeast to go. Yoruba Nation wants Yoruba Nation. This one. So you need a unifier like Atiku Abubakar, who has friends in every part of Nigeria. He's at home in every part. There is nowhere in Nigeria Atiku will go and he will not have a friend.
In fairness, he has not been convicted of any crime by any known court. But you do know well, when you look at the case, the Jefferson case in the U.S., and the way he handled privatization in Nigeria, Atiku's name and the aura around him, people keep throwing this, issue of corruption. He's done this, he's done that. He's not really a clean person. No thanks to even the book written by President Obasanjo, somebody who should also know him too well, like you do know him too well. How do you, if we agree that with you that Nigeria is on the brink of collapse, people will tell you naturally, like Madam is saying, one of the major problems has to do with corruption. And for us to have the next leader, he has to be seen, not just to be clean, but to be seen that in all his life and what he does, he stands high above on moral ground. How do you situate that with us?
Number one, nations are not governed by saints. Nations are governed by performance. There were bigger allegations against Donald Trump in America that we all like to quote. He did this, he did that. He evaded tax. But he became the president of America. He was able to manage a good economy. He was able to prevent America going to war with anybody. So the first thing to tell you is that nations are not governed by saints. That's what led us to Buhari. Nigerians were desperately looking for a saint, but they ignored the most important thing, performance. Number two, what you said about Baba Obasanjo, I'm relatively close to him. The Yorubas have a saying that Ijalode Toridowe. In 2019, the same Baba Obasanjo endorsed Atiku Abubakar. 2019, I have the tape. If I knew you were going to, I'll play it. Where he was talking eloquently about the qualities that will make Atiku the better president between him and Buhari. So, of course, now he has endorsed someone else. No problem. It is his right. We're Democrats. You know that one thing you must also give to Atiku Abubakar is his beautiful temperament. All through those unprovoked attacks, he never hit back at his boss. He continues to respect Baba Obasanjo. He takes him as a leader, as a father figure, as a world statesman. So when people talk about corruption, no human being can be totally perfect. In fact, a friend of mine, Odole Bola Orolugbabe, used to tell me, he said, if they search your wardrobe very well, they will always find a white cockroach. So in life, no man is perfect. Atiku is not perfect, Baba Obasanjo is not perfect, Buhari is not perfect, nobody is perfect. But I can tell you Now that I'm an insider in the Atiku campaign, I can see its level of administrative experience. The structures of our campaign is second to none in the country, if not all over Africa. He's the only leader who retired as far back as 2007 and has been able to run his private businesses successfully. All the others are usually parasites on government. When they leave government, they cannot leave government because they must continue to enjoy patronage. But Atiku Abubakar has that Midas touch that whatever he touches turns into gold.
I just wonder, you know, at this point in time, Dele Momodu, you are Yoruba man. People talk about equity, fairness, and justice, and that as we speak, we have a northerner in the saddle, President Muhammadu Buhari, who will complete his 8th-year term this February. I mean, this May 29, and we're going to another election. And people will say, "Oh, equity, fairness, power must shift." I can also tell you, and I know you also know, away from IU, away from somebody losing the vice presidential ticket. I'm talking about Wiki. Governor Seyi Makinde, I sat with him here, his first ever live interview on the 29th of October in any private station. He came here, and I could see from what he said, which seemed to also reflect in what we've been saying of him at the campaign trail. He just like other APC and PDP governors. Remember, they had 2 different meetings, one in Lagos and one at Asaba, the Asaba Accord, where they said, "Oh, the next president should come from the south, fairness and justice." Right now, has been the position of both. APC followed to the latter. They have Emilio Kon now from the south, and you could see feelers. If you are very close to, you know, Governor Makinde and Co, they still seem to have. That's why the fact that primary has been held. The northern has emerged on the platform of PDP. Something tells me, I'm telling you, have this gut feeling, they are still much more committed to a southern president. So it appears. So it appears. Where does this conversation sit with you, Dele Momodu? That fairness, justice, the next president should come from the south.
Number one, I'm an insider. I contested that election, and the feeling was that power should come to the south. But before I go into the details of that, I will take you back to memory lane. Since 1999, we've had Baba Obasanjo for 8 years. We had Yaradua for 3 years. We had President Goodluck Jonathan.
6 years.
No, 5 years.
5 years.
It's 5 years.
Okay.
So, if you add Obasanjo to Jonathan, that makes 13 years. Which means that out of 24 years, the South has governed, okay, for 13 years, and the North for 11 years. And Jonathan won that election, it would have been 17 years. PDP has been the most responsible political party in Nigeria by giving, in fact, there were almost constitutional crisis when President Jonathan was given a second term, because constitutionally you are expected to be sworn in only twice as president of Nigeria. He would have been the only president in Nigeria to be sworn in 3 times. It's from the same zone as Governor Nyesom Wike. Okay? So which means he would have had 17. Nobody complained at the time. This campaign of calumny against the North and against the Hausa, Fulani, or whatever you want to call them is not going to fly. In fact, it's going to backfire against the South. So that is number one. It is not true that the North has been dominating. We've had more years, 13 years out of 24 years in the South.
One of them brought in by providence because the president died, right?
Irrelevant. The man died, and it came to the South, and that was only for 1 year. Jonathan served his 4 years, and he was going to serve another 4 years, which would have given him 9 years. Nobody complained. So let's leave it at that. Then coming back to the PDP of last year, in which I participated as a presidential aspirant, I can tell you that Atiku Abubakar had approached Governor Wike 2 years ago to say, my brother, my friend, I want to contest. But if our party applies zoning formula and decides to zone to the southeast because the southeast has not produced a president, I will not run. At that time, who was our chairman? It was Uche Secondus. Prince Uche Secondus was our chairman. Uche Secondus is from the same rivers as Wike. But because Wike had his eyes on the presidency, so the first thing he had to do it was to remove Secondus. So if we are crying wolf where there is none today, let us go back to history. Secondus was chairman, but because a southerner from south, Atiku wanted power to go to southeast. Don't forget that, in fact, virtually all his vice presidential candidates have been from the southeast. He's a man who is very close to the southeast. So to cut a long story short, it was Wike's ambition that chased Peter Obi away because he knew he didn't have the capacity to face Governor Wike. So he left PDP and went to Labour Party. If you look at the constitution of those who decided on our zoning formula, because I complained when I bought my form, I bought a form for 40 million plus. I asked them, why are we paying for a form when you have not decided where you want power to go? So if they decide that power should go to the north, are you going to refund our money? At that time, the G5, they did not complain. In fact, I met a former governor who told me that the next president of Nigeria is Governor Wike, that nothing can change it because he has this, he has that, he has... So, they brought in Ayu. That's another fact that they are not telling you. They brought in Ayu. Where is Ayu from? From the same place as Governor Autumn. That is what brought Ayu. So when they are complaining, now after Atiku won, they said for them to support Atiku, Atiku must sack Ayu. Atiku does not have the power.
And that is why we are now.
Yeah, Atiku does not have the power.
That's why we are now.
Wait, sir. Atiku does not have the power to sack Ayu because it's like Arsenal and Man U playing. And Arsenal wins. Then you come, you said the referee did Ojoro. And so the man who won, Arsenal, the team that won, should go and sack the referee. It is not the job of the team to sack the referee because it didn't employ, Atiku did not employ Ayu. So Atiku cannot sack Ayu. It is the party, the neck of the party. And rather than sack Ayu, the neck of our party gave a vote of confidence to the NWC. So what is Atiku's problem with that? If the party says Ayu should go, who is Atiku to say no? Beyond that, the constitution of our party, even if you sack Ayu today, you must pick someone from his zone to replace him. Who, in his wisdom, in his sagacity, will sack a man in the middle of a presidential campaign? It has to take a madman. And they appealed to G5. Atiku at his age, even if you don't respect his stature, his status in society, you should respect his age and experience. Everywhere they invited him, to London, he went. In Nigeria, he met with them, he pleaded with them, they still said no. I will now speak as a Christian. Any leader who cannot forgive, I'm sorry, you must forgive your enemy 70 times, 7 times. That is what my own, and I'm happy I'm sitting next to a pastor here. That is what my Christianity teaches me. When people say, no, you must go, I don't know anything about it, but I'm giving you the historical facts. That is it. And I'm hoping that they will realize. Because what I see is like somebody who wants to pull down the roof because one man lost an election. If Wike was vice president, who would be talking about you today?
Dele Momodu, we are where we are as we speak now. And what a way to wrap up my conversation with you. than the way we began it, the way we started it. You spoke about being very optimistic. That's always been your mantra. Can you honestly, you've been in this game for long, at least you've been in the corridor of power for long, and the political game for long. Do you really think Team Atiku can do this alone outside the G5? I agree, in politics, a day, an hour, anything can happen. But do you honestly think if the G5 are still sticking to their guns, that IU must be removed for them to be pacified? We've had story of, IU has agreed once Atiku wins to step down afterwards. But they are saying he has to go now. And the last that I had from the G5, when it came to Ibadan, they were unequivocally silent about who to vote for when it comes to presidential election. Thomas Makina has been going around campaign tour. We've been following, and his messages have been clear. Discipline pitched messages, which is vote for PDP, down the ballot. I have not had the name Atiku on his mouth, but his supporter will say, look, he has said they should vote for PDP, but that means he's also referring to Atiku. But I know for a government that is very popular, at least in this state, his word means a lot to undecided voters and party faithful. Yeah. Do you really think it's in your best interest to get these 5 governors on board? And you think if you don't, it will not spell doom?
Let me say something to you. Elections are not won based on popularity alone. Ibadan is known to have removed people far more superior, far more intelligent, far more exposed, experienced, cosmopolitan, detribalized, speaks all languages. God rest the soul of Jibola Ige. He was removed in this Ibadan. Ibadan has a tradition of independence when it comes to who to vote for. Nobody can dictate to your state. I've traversed the look, you cannot imagine the length and breadth of this state that I know. I know this place very well. And I'm telling you, and my advice, I'm a few years at least older than Governor Makinde, and I'm speaking not as a party man now. I'm speaking as a man who has a little bit of experience. I studied Yoruba, and I know that one of the most important attributes of a Yoruba man is what we call Iwapele, Ati Suru. Even Ebenezer Obey sang about it. There is nothing to prove. God has been very kind to these governors. It is not everybody that will be a governor. So that is my first statement. My other statement is that
Admonition now.
trust me, when God's time has come, nobody can stop you. I went with Senator Ademola Nuruddin Adeleke to see Governor Makinde before his election. We went to appeal to him to support my friend and brother. He's now a governor. They refused. They refused. Adeleke still won. In Ekiti, where they supported Governor Fayoshe's candidate, we lost. So in life, it's only God who determines. Let me tell you, Atiku Abubakar has been contesting since 1993, 30 years ago. The first time I saw him, I was 33 years old in Jos, where he stepped down for Chief Moshood Abiola. That is a man of vision. He did not throw tantrums. He accepted the decision of the party and of his godfather, Major General Shehu Musa Yaradua, to step down for Abiola. He accepted it with equanimity and he moved on. Now let me tell you how God works mysteriously. The same Atiku Abubakar in 1999 had already won the governorship of his state, Adamawa State, before they pulled him out to be vice president to Baba Obasanjo. Imagine, he was promised when he was stepping down, just the same way they are saying Wike was promised. Atiku was promised then.
One time?
No, he was promised to be running mate to MKO. But the governors came and insisted it must be Kingibe. Baba Gana Kingibe became the vice presidential candidate, but did he ever become vice president? The answer is no. But Atiku, who stepped down and went away without complaining, later became vice president. So that is life.
So you are telling the G5
I am
governors,
telling the G5 that there is life outside power. Governor Makinde still has 4 years. If he mismanages this and the people of your state turn against him, what shall we profit a man who fights like politics like his life and death? Before he became governor, he was already a made man. I love him. He's a young man. The first time I met him was at the London School of Economics. Brilliant gentleman. So I'm appealing to him this morning, appealing to him that, look, don't follow anybody blindly. Wike has already completed 2 terms. He has nothing to lose. All the other governors either want to be second-term governor or they want to be senators. They have much at stake. So I'm appealing to Governor Makinde. You can be angry. That's the respect I have for Atiku, for Saraki, and all of them. When they had problems with PDP, they didn't bring down PDP. They left. On principle, they left. And when they achieved what they wanted, they came back. So if our Wike or anybody, if I'm disgruntled and I know I'm never going to support my friend, I'll walk away. They are saying that they own the party, they've invested so much in the party, fine. But the party also invested in them by giving them the opportunities to be governor. So it's a win-win situation.
strong word from this morning. I'm looking at time. We'll have a break. When we come back, the final word will come from Madam in terms of if elected. I know a legislator, be a senator, House of Rep member, it's all about what you said at the beginning. You want to impact via policies. You just share with me motions, bills that you hope to drive if you are lucky enough to be elected next senator in your South after this break.
Fresh 105.9 FM. Professionalism nurtured by experience.
CBC, check. Motivation, check. Ginger, check. Now it's time to hit the pose. Let's go. Wait a minute. I can tell you already know who you do not want to vote for. Come to think of it, are you still undecided about who you really want to vote for? Why waste that vote when you could cast a safe vote to recover Nigeria? A vote for PDP is a vote to recover Nigeria. PDP! Sponsored by the PDP Presidential Campaign Council.
bàbá fẹ́ lọ síwájú láwùjọ ilẹ̀ yìí.
Ọwọ́ wa ló wà.
bàbá fáyé ìgbáyé gbádùn.
Ọwọ́ wa ló wà.
bàbá la fẹ́ bọ́ lọ́wọ́ oko ìsìnkú.
Ọwọ́ wa ló wà.
ẹ má tẹ̀lẹ́nu mọ́ àti máa ṣe bò ní ẹ wò ká sọ̀rọ̀ ká bà bẹ́ẹ̀ tí ṣe ìyọmọlúwàbí ní ẹ wò ẹja àjọpá wọ́pọ̀ ká fi bò wá bẹ́ẹ̀ Rev. Dr. Adenike Victor Tade Mama Empowerment wọlé fún ikọ̀ aṣòfin ẹkùn gúúsù ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ Ọ̀yọ́ South Senatorial District nínú ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú Young Progressive Party fún èrè ìjọba àwarawa tòótọ́ ìpèsè iṣẹ́ lọ́pọ̀ yanturu ìgbáyé gbádùn fún àwọn ọ̀dọ́ líléwájú àbá tí ó gbégi dínà iṣẹ́ àwọn òṣì láwùjọ wa mélòó la fẹ́ kà nínú yín Adébẹ̀lẹ̀ Rev. Dr. Adenike Victor Tade ní ẹjọ́ ṣe kígbà lè sùn wá bọ̀ Young Progressive Party service to the people.
BBC, check. Motivation, check. Ginger, check. Now it's time to hit the pose. Let's go. Wait a minute. I can tell you already know who you do not want to vote for. Come to think of it, are you still undecided about who you really want to vote for? Why waste that vote when you could cast a safe vote to recover Nigeria? A vote for PDP is a vote to recover Nigeria. PDP! Sponsored by the PDP Presidential Campaign Council.
bàbá fẹ́ lọ síwájú láwùjọ ilẹ̀ yìí.
Ọwọ́ wa ló wà.
bàbá fáyé ìgbáyé gbádùn.
Ọwọ́ wa ló wà.
bàbá la fẹ́ bọ́ lọ́wọ́ oko ìsìnkú.
Ọwọ́ wa ló wà.
ẹ má tẹ̀lẹ́nu mọ́ àti máa ṣe bò ní ẹ wò ká sọ̀rọ̀ ká bà bẹ́ẹ̀ tí ṣe ìyọmọlúwàbí ní ẹ wò ẹja àjọpá wọ́pọ̀ ká fi bò wá bẹ́ẹ̀ Rev. Dr. Adenike Victor Tade Mama Empowerment wọlé fún ikọ̀ aṣòfin ẹkùn gúúsù ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ Ọ̀yọ́ South Senatorial District nínú ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú Young Progressive Progressive Party fún èrè ìjọba àwarawa tòótọ́ ìpèsè iṣẹ́ lọ́pọ̀ yanturu ìgbáyégbádùn fún àwọn ọ̀dọ́ líléwájú àbá tí ó gbégi dínà iṣẹ́ àwọn òṣì láwùjọ wa mélòó la fẹ́ kà nínú eyín adébẹ̀lẹ̀ Reverend Dr. Adenike Victor Tade ní ẹjọ́ ṣe kígbà lè sùn wá bọ̀ Young Progressive Party service to the people.
Fresh 105.9 FM. Professionalism nurtured by experience.
Of course, madam, you seem to be winning a lot of converts online. People are asking for your details. Somebody's writing here that I need the details, social media contacts of the YPP woman. She's also saying she seems to feel so strong to support your cause, and in her own little way, she loves your courage. You give those details. The bill that, or motion that you hope to push if elected. Quick one as we wrap up this conversation.
Yes, I have like 10, but let me say 2, 3, 1. Let me start from making women 30% seats for political seats for women. And that will start from the primary.
That's affirmation, right? 30%, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Making from the primary. So that from the primary, it's going to be women versus women. So that at the end, the result
a woman will emerge.
A woman will emerge.
Engineer,
that is a conscious effort.
Okay.
Because
so you want to push that on the floor.
I want to push it. And I want
Secondly,
to put job creation law. Everything that will make job creation to be important to every person, a state, and even the political holders. Let there be, instead of just establishing university, producing graduates without corresponding where to push them. Let that be a conscious. I want to push a law that for every private university or even government want to establish another university, they must have provided an industry, at least.
Oh, I'm on the same page with you. That's what we have in California, the Silicon Valley. You have university, pushing, companies.
You must have,
I love that.
And you must have an industry where your student will.
You don't just produce graduates where you start looking for jobs.
Yes.
And finally.
Yes, and now I want to talk about private-owned water provider. Based on my experience in water corporation, and I discover
you sat there on the board.
Yes.
They produce
we are producing little according to the resources available. But I believe that when we give license to private owners that can provide water, from Elele I can provide within this
okay, like IPP for energy.
Yes, there will be water.
Madam, I'm on the same page.
There will be water. And last, let me talk about currency.
Okay. 10 seconds.
Yes, like now, if we have most of our exporting transaction paid with naira, there will be value for naira.
Madam, I can assure you, February 25th is far. February 24th is the final day of the campaign. This station will still host you. It's great to have Dele Momodu sit down with you this morning. Massive profile. Everybody's listening to two of you. And you're already getting more converts. I wish you the best, madam.
Thank you.
And help us dream, help us pray, so that Dele Momodu can see what God is telling Nigerians about him and his candidate, right? Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Dele Momodu, you're still going to stand by because we have a 30-minute session with him with Bola De Salami. The news is already here.
Fresh 105.9 FM. Professionalism nurtured by experience.
Good morning. This is Fresh Headlines on Fresh 105.9 FM. I am Faith Afolabi. President Muhammadu Buhari calls for inter-African countries to harness economic benefits. National Universities of Commission, NUC, calls for inter-university centers resuscitation. On the foreign scene, China's population falls in 60 years as country records low birth rate. Pressure mounts on Germany as Ukraine urges faster arms supplies. Police officers to face conviction over alleged Indonesia stadium stampede. In sport, Premier League club Fulham set to sign Super Eagles forward Josh Maja. Join us for details of this and more in our comprehensive news bulletin global update at 1 p.m. I am Faith Afolabi. Good morning and thank you for listening.
Ẹ kú ìyálẹ̀ta o. Kókó oníròyìn la mú wá fún yín láti ìkànnì Fresh 105.9 FM ilé orin Challenge Ìbàdàn. Olúwatósìn Adéwuyì lóníròyìn yín. Àjọ àwọn ilé ẹ̀kọ́ gíga fásitì orílẹ̀-èdè ló ti pè fún àmúbọ̀sípò àwọn ẹ̀ka ìkẹ́kọ̀ọ́ tó wà lábẹ́ àwọn ilé ẹ̀kọ́ gíga tó jẹ́ ti ìjọba orílẹ̀-èdè yìí. Bákan náà ni ààrẹ ilẹ̀ yìí Muhammadu Buhari ti pè fún ètò ìṣòwò láàrin àwọn orílẹ̀-èdè ilẹ̀ adúláwọ̀ lójúnà àti jẹ àǹfààní ètò ọrọ̀ ajé tó gúnmọ́ran. Òǹkà àwọn ọmọ orílẹ̀-èdè China ló ti dínkù jọjọ báyìí láàrin 60 ọdún pẹ̀lú bí orílẹ̀-èdè náà ti ṣe ń lákọsílẹ̀ àdínkù nínú ọmọ bíbí lọ́dọọdún. Ìkáyàsókè ti ń wáyé lórílẹ̀-èdè Germany láti pàṣẹ bí orílẹ̀-èdè Ukraine ti ṣe ń béèrè fún ìyákọ́kàn ìpèsè àwọn ohun èlò ogun láti orílẹ̀-èdè náà. Iléeṣẹ́ ọlọ́pàá orílẹ̀-èdè Indonesia ni yóò máa fojú winá òfin látàrí bí wọ́n ti ṣe lọ́wọ́ nínú ìbẹ̀rùbojo tó fa ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ eléyìí tó wáyé nínú pápá ìṣeré orílẹ̀-èdè náà. Lágbo eré ìdárayá, ikọ̀ agbábọ́ọ̀lù Fulham ló ti ṣetán báyìí láti ra àgbà ọwọ́ iwájú ikọ̀ Super Eagles ìyún Josh Maja. Kókó oníròyìn ò ní jù báyìí lọ láti ìkànnì Fresh 105.9 FM Ìbàdàn. Ẹ tún darapọ̀ mọ́ wa láago kan àbọ̀ sóòní lórí ìròyìn ọgbẹ̀nután títí ìgbà náà. Olúwatósìn Adéwuyì ló ti ń ròyìn. Ẹ ṣeun tẹ́ ń gbọ́ wa.
Ibadan kí ni so Fresh FM Ibadan. One secret about smart business owners: they seek out smart solutions that help them deliver prompt quality service to their customers. Smart solutions like the Airtel Smart Box that provides unlimited high-speed internet connection for up to 32 devices with 240 megabytes free data. Smart too. Visit any Airtel store now or send an email to smartbox@ng.airtel.com to get started. Saves the day. Lunch is here. Moment. I got some coke too.
Just come and eat, Joe.
Cook up memorable moments because family lunch and then ice cold coke. Make a recipe for wonder. Coca-Cola.